Episode 8: Rebuilding and Ruin. The 2020 season began with measured expectations for Ashley Ashby's Minnesota Gophers. Despite the loss of key starters, Ashby's determination to rebuild the program was unwavering. Aware of his team's deficiencies, he took a hands-on approach to recruiting, personally attending ABL games in search of future stars. Players like Terry Isham caught his eye, providing hope for the coming years. But the present season rested squarely on the shoulders of guards Curtis, Ramlow and Clemens, alongside the inside play of Toole and Cowan Corgo. Without a true shooter or versatile small forward, the Gophers' offense often felt one-dimensional, forcing Ashby to lean even harder on his team's defensive grit. What started as a promising year quickly became a roller coaster. The Gophers stormed to a hot 12-2 start, showing flashes of brilliance that echoed last season's highs. But as conference play intensified, their lack of depth became apparent. Losses piled up, and the team's momentum faltered, leading to a 22-11 finish. Despite their spirited efforts, their season ended in the NIT semifinals with a frustrating loss to Florida State. Ashby couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and frustration, proud of his players' perseverance, but acutely aware of how far the team still had to go. After the game, the athletic director, ever the optimist, invited Ashby and the coaching staff to celebrate the season at a nearby bar. Most of the staff enjoyed a drink or two before heading home, but Ashby and the AD lingered, their conversation drifting into personal territory. The AD, in high spirits, teased Ashby about marrying his sister, nudging him toward taking the next step in their relationship. Ashby, while dodging the pointed remarks with his usual charm, took the opportunity to learn more about the AD's past, finding their growing rapport both unexpected and strangely comforting. As the night wore on, Ashby insisted the AD not drive home and offered to let him crash at his nearby apartment. The short walk back was filled with laughter and warm camaraderie, a rare moment of peace for Ashby. But the warmth was shattered the moment they stepped into his apartment. There, on the floor of his living room, lay the lifeless body of the athletic director's sister, her face twisted in terror. The AD's reaction was immediate and heart-wrenching, a cry of anguish that echoed through the room as he dropped to his knees beside her. "No, no, no!" he sobbed, shaking her as if trying to wake her. Ashby stood frozen, his heart breaking into pieces. The woman he loved, the one who had brought light into his shadowed life, was gone. His mind reeled, unable to process the devastating sight in front of him. When the AD's cries became unbearable, Ashby's paralysis broke. He dialed 911 with trembling hands, giving the operator his address as his voice cracked with emotion. The sound of approaching sirens filled the air, but Ashby felt detached from reality, as if the scene before him was part of someone else's nightmare. The loss of the woman he loved was a blow Ashby couldn't have prepared for. Grief and despair consumed him, but beneath the anguish, a darker fear took root. Was this connected to the ominous letters he had received? Was this tragedy meant as a message, or worse, a warning? As law enforcement arrived, Ashby knew he would have to navigate the storm carefully, balancing the weight of his heartbreak with the need to protect himself. The cracks in his carefully built facade had never been wider, and one wrong move could cause it all to come crashing down.